The boardroom on the 5th floor of Government Center was full on Tuesday evening, full of Stanford residents who wished to address the Board of Education on a variety of matters. Some residents chose to speak to Dr. Starr, wishing him well on his new appointment as the school superintendent of Montgomery County, Maryland. Others chose to speak to the board on more specific issues related to the Stanford schools, like grouping.
First of all, as it relates to Dr. Starr and his departure, you may have agreed with some of his actions over the years, you may have disagreed, you may like him, you may not like him. Irregardless of that, I think there's no denying of anyone in this room that over the last 6 years we have watched this gentleman work tirelessly and use every ounce of his energy to do what he believed was right for our children. He has fought for them and tried to do his very best, and for that, he is owed our respect, our admiration, our thanks, and our gratitude. If over the coming weeks, as we work through his departure, you see some of those around you acting badly and wanting to work out some personal issues that they may have, I ask that each of you act like mensches, rise above, do what's right, and deal with the departure of Dr. Starr in a professional manner that is according to what he deserves. In addition, I think this is an opportunity for this board. You know, it wasn't so many years ago that I saw a board that, while like you, they had different political parties, different agendas coming in, different points of view of what was best for our children. Somehow that board would work to compromise, treat each other with a great deal of respect, and together come to form compromises that really moved the district forward. And you always saw a board that worked as a unified group as a whole. However, in recent years, I've seen this board degrade a bit. I see infighting. I see people with personal agendas that they won't let go of. I've seen political agendas. I've seen each, or various members of you, treat each other with less a level of respect that I think you are all due of, and is not the appropriate level of behavior that is expected of this very illustrious body and organization. So I ask you that in the coming months, as you try to work through this transition, find a new superintendent, you also see this as an opportunity for yourselves to work together, to when you see others around you behaving badly, to rise above, act like mensches, do what's right for this district, do what's right for our children, begin to work together, treat each other with respect.
The mission of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equalities and rights of all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination. The vision of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is to ensure a society in which all individuals have equal rights without discrimination based on race. The following statement of objectives is found on the first page of the NAACP Constitution. The principal objectives of the association shall be to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equalities of all citizens, to achieve equality of rights and eliminate race prejudice among the citizens of the United States, to remove all barriers of racial discrimination through democratic processes, to seek enactment and enforcement of federal, state, and local laws securing civil rights, to inform the public of the adverse effects of racial discrimination and to seek its elimination, to educate persons as to their constitutional rights and to take all lawful action to secure the exercise thereof, and to take any other lawful action in furtherance of these objectives, consistent with the NAACP's Article of Incorporation and this Constitution. As we all know and heard several times, Connecticut has the largest achievement gap in the nation. The students that are the majority of those on the adverse side of the achievement gap are minority students. You must provide a better way to educate those that are in need the most. I believe a lot of those students that have been labeled by grouping are labeled with lower expectations from themselves and the teachers that stand in front of their classroom. If we continue with the grouping that we have had in the past, you are not doing what you were voted in to do, and that is to provide adequate education to all students. I have been in conversations with both the state and national NAACP regarding the expectation levels that are placed on our students. I do not want to see us go backwards. I am so committed, the Stanford NAACP is so committed to see that we go in the direction of Dr. Starr and the middle school reform, that if we go back to the days of grouping, we will look into and begin the process of a lawsuit. Grouping is a form of discrimination, as it will have an adverse effect on the students that I am here representing. As stated previously, to educate persons as to their constitutional rights and to take all lawful action to secure the exercise thereof, and to take any other lawful action in furtherance of these objectives.
But I guess it doesn't matter really. As Dr. Starr said, every student can achieve highest standards, and my highest standards have to do with the arts. My highest standards won't be reached. Thank you. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have a portfolio anymore, and I don't know what to do, honestly, because what I wanted to do in life, which was become a photographer or graphic designer of some form, won't exist anymore. As we look around this room, you see the walls covered in art from different grades, different schools, different children, different races, everything. And the fact that the higher levels, the 12th graders, the 11th graders, the ones who want this the most, who planned on doing this for the rest of their lives, won't be able to now. Because without a portfolio, I won't be able to apply to certain colleges. I won't be able to be accepted as an art student without a portfolio. And I would have made one if I had the art classes. Every year there's a senior art show. I've been going since I was like 5. And I waited for my chance to be in it. But it won't happen now, because 2 classes I was going to take for art aren't going to exist. It's my one creative outlet in the entire school day. I spend the entire day in history and math, learning and doing things that I know I need in life. But the one moment I get to actually enjoy myself and have an amazing time drawing something that no one's ever done before, something original, I don't have anymore. As a member of NAHS, which is the National Art Honor Society, it's expected of me to do my best in the art world, which I guess won't happen anymore. I'd be happy to recruit, and I know that tons of people in my school want to take art. There's over 2,000 of us, which means there's got to be at least 10, 20, probably even more than that, who want to take different art classes. But I guess it doesn't matter, really. As Dr. Starr said, every student can achieve highest standards, and my highest standards have to do with the arts. My highest standards won't be reached. Thank you.
I grew up in Stanford playing soccer, played for Stanford Travel, and went on to win state championships, and then I went on to play at the collegiate level. So soccer has always been a big part of my life here in Stanford, and I now coach in Stanford as well at King, as well as with Stanford Youth Soccer. I've grown up playing at the Rippewam Field. I grew up living at 192 Joffrey Ave. I now own the house. And it's the neighborhood I know and love. I've always been at Rippewam, and as an athlete, I remember as a kid, the field being more like a Mars dust plane than a green soccer field. And so I thank you for allowing us to use the facilities. And I only wish I had those facilities as a kid, but it's great to see the kids using them now. And I'm here just to express that thankfulness and gratitude, and I ask you to not allow new restrictions regarding playing time for the kids.
I've never seen an issue like middle school reform where there is, I think, genuinely and factually so much common ground, and yet we have Israel and Palestine here in so many ways. Obviously a lot of strong feelings. To the gentleman who said beforehand, I don't know where he is, or he asked that we all act in a mensch-like way. I could not support that more, and I wish that many of us had acted in a more mensch-like way as we have gone through much of this process. I listen to people and what they're saying. I hear people talking about going back to tracking. I hear people speaking about putting all kids of one kind or one type in one room. And and perhaps I'm in a vacuum of some sort, and for that I apologize. When people in our community also speak about flexible ability grouping, it's not taking all kinds of one people and putting them in one place. There is a lot of movement depending on subject and class matter. There is a lot of togetherness, and there is ability grouping. I'm not here tonight to talk about this because clearly there are points of view. I'm not prepared to have a conversation, but when I listen to the comments coming out, I hear what I perceive as a lot of misperception, whether it's the use of the word tracking, whether it's the way people describe what they perceive will happen when the evil ability grouping might come to the fore. And I guess I'm frustrated because I appreciate the love fest for Dr. Starr. Clearly he has worked very hard in his time here and has been a very capable and able advocate for where he has been going. I respect that very much. I have been on the receiving end of many of his barbs, and he probably feels like he's been on the receiving end of some of mine.
And I just wanted to respond to the gentleman who said that there is a misperception among those of us who believe that ability grouping and tracking are the same. I have reviewed the research. There are 500 studies out there, and there are those who advocate ability grouping, but there is nobody who says that ability grouping and tracking are not the same. They are the same, and we should work to eliminate all. I don't appreciate saying that we're the ones who don't understand. We might disagree, but we certainly, those of us who are opposed to ability grouping have not reviewed the issues. We have reviewed the issues in depth, as has the New England League of Middle Schools, which says that in all high achieving schools, heterogeneous assignment of students is the norm, and who talk about flexible grouping as Schofield does within the classroom, that the person who groups should be the person closest to the learner for a variety of reasons, for projects, sometimes for ability, sometimes, but it's temporary regrouping within the classroom. That is what flexible ability grouping means according to the New England League of Middle Schools and the National Middle School Association. So while there are those who disagree, we do not misperceive. We understand the situation, we just disagree. And there is a lot of common ground. So rather than dismantle the reform, let's all work together to improve this reform and to continue to move it forward. Thank you.